hundreds of years before me. And I think that is also significant. That's where history comes. But you've got to be careful with history, because it can bite you. The biggest problem is you end up with a caricature, or you end up with the picturesque. And the picturesque is not what we're looking for. We want an architecture of today and tomorrow that responds to the conditions of today and tomorrow, but it may also have that spirit that Frank has been talking about. In your heart, you know what you were wanting to achieve. Now, if I relate it to language, for example, can you imagine the Germans designing a Citroën, or can you imagine the French designing a Mercedes-Benz? I'm sure Jean Nouvel couldn't design a Mercedes-Benz, but I'm sure he probably designed a very good Citroën. And I think language has embodied in it an attitude about the way we go about doing things. And so your language for your country must be able to guide you as to how you might go about doing things. So language to me is a really significant issue. And I'm sure Wang, you probably would agree with that language and understanding of culture is very important. Now, some of the students ask, what do we do in our education? It's also what do you do after you're finished. And of course, this man opened his practice for a short time, then dropped out of practice and worked for 10 years in the building industry to learn the crafts. Now, to learn the crafts, you're starting to learn the language of your built environment. And I think that Wang has done it in a particular way. It's not the only way, but it's a very good way. I had the same issue. I was building racing sailing boats by the time I was 18. I was building doors and windows and staircases by the time I was 16 in my father's workshop. So it gives you a real background on how materials work. And one of the greatest problems today, I think, is the lack of understanding of the nature of materials. And that is really important, because we seem to be designing things that can be all done and clad in plasterboard. It becomes form only. I think materials have a very significant issue in design. So there's just a few thoughts I might offer you. Thank you.